忙之中，然后来参加了我们的这样的一个论坛。然后我现在来请 Lambert 来讲话 ，Lambert 给大家分享一下，那么疫情之下对于他想要对于大家的一些分享的一些观点。现在来请 Lambert 来讲话。Okay,
Hi,
Lambert,
Claire.
I will give
Hi,
you the
can you
host.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I give you the host right now. Okay.
Okay, so I can share my PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, sure. And you can open your video after 1 second.
Okay, I'm the host now. Okay.
You're the host now, yeah. And you can share your PowerPoint. And 1 second, I stop sharing. Okay. So you can share your PowerPoint and start your video right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see this, right?
Yeah, we can see.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe this is the wrong one. Let me see.
No rush. No rush. I know Hong Kong time is so early today.
Yeah, it's
early
too
morning,
early.
right?
It's too early. Okay,
Sorry.
Keynote.
Take your time.
Desktop.
然后大家有任何想要问 Lambert 也可以打在下边的这个 Q&A 里边啊。
Should be this one. I think it should be this one. Yep.
And Lambert, you didn't start your video. We cannot see you.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. Sorry.
We won't see you.
Well, yeah, I'm still getting used to this.
No worry, no worry, no.
I'm doing sharing. How do I? Oh, okay. Start video. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah. Hi.
Okay.
We can see you right now. Okay, it's your time.
Okay, let me see how I should screenplay here. Okay. Hi, good morning and good evening, everyone. My name is Lambert. I'm so glad to be here to share with you some of my experience over the past like 35 years. Because when the organizer Claire and Vincent invited me to deliver a short speech, I was just thinking, what can I share with you? And I learned that most of you are like studying in Canada or different parts of the world and university, and you're planning whether you will stay in Canada or going back to China to start your career. So I'm thinking maybe I should take the opportunity to share my 35 years of working experience, and there are some ups and downs in my life that may be some inspiration to you, because I understand that most of you are facing challenges these days after the COVID-19 pandemic. So you would be kind of concerned whether there are implications on your career or on finding a good job. What I'm sharing with you is my life experience where I grew up, and there are challenges that I had faced, but how I overcome these challenges, and that's my experience, and I hope that would inspire you some thoughts. Okay, so to start with, I also graduated in Canada. I studied my grade 13 in Niagara Falls, in Fort Erie, in a small town in Fort Erie. I studied grade 13, and then I went to University of Toronto. After graduation, I was thinking, wow, okay, I have so much dreams in my life. I really want to do a lot of things. I want to be a singer. I want to be a cabin crew because I really enjoy flying and traveling. And I want to be a radio host, a DJ. And also I come from Hong Kong. So I thought, well, maybe after graduation, I go back to Hong Kong and to be a tourism ambassador. Or I want to be a vet because I love cats and I love dogs. So I thought, well, maybe I should be a vet. Or finally, I thought maybe I want to be a teacher because I like sharing my experience. I like sharing my knowledge with young people. So, well, there are so many dreams in my life, and I thought I want to fulfill all these dreams. But ended up, when I came back, I went back to Hong Kong in 1988. I didn't do any of those. I started my career as a singer. As you can see on the right, the guy on the right, it was me. I look really differently when I was like 20 odd years old. That was my first role in Hong Kong. But as you see, being a singer, especially a gospel singer, you won't be able to earn much money. So I talked to myself saying, okay, maybe I should find a proper job. So I started my career in the telecom industry. I joined the Hong Kong Telecom, which currently is renamed as PCCW. And I started in the mobile phone business. I launched different brands, 1010, 123. And it was quite successful, especially when we started the new mobile phone service called 123. And I started that, and it was a success to Hong Kong Telecom as well as to myself. I became the youngest general manager in the telecom business. I was at the age of 29. So at that time, I thought, wow, I've been in the telecom business for 10 years, so maybe I should consider changing to another company, because I thought if I want to progress on my career vertically, I would stay in Hong Kong Telecom because it's such a big company. But I thought maybe I should develop my career horizontally. Which means I don't want to confine myself as a telecom expert. I want to position myself as a general manager. So I changed my career to the Hong Kong Tourism Board, promoting Hong Kong. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of my dreams in my younger life. I really want to promote Hong Kong because I was born in Hong Kong. I really want to do something good for the Hong Kong society. So I joined the Hong Kong Tourism Board, building new infrastructures, for example, Hong Kong Disneyland, the Ongping 360, doing a lot of events, the Chinese New Year parade, and so on. It was quite an interesting life, and I really enjoyed the time there. I spent there for 6 years. But in the year 2003, that was the first hit in my life, because similar to what COVID-19 is doing in the world, SARS, I'm sure you know, because there are SARS attack in China as well. SARS was hit Hong Kong very badly, and it actually hit the tourism industry the worst, because Hong Kong rely a lot on the tourism industry. And I was working in the tourism board, so I was very busy before SARS attack, but suddenly my work was put to a stop because nothing you can do. Nobody is coming to Hong Kong, and the hotel occupancy rate fall from 90% to only 4% in Hong Kong. So all these has an impact on my career, and I thought, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do? I cannot do anything, because if you promote it, nobody come to Hong Kong, you are just wasting the taxpayers' money. So at that time, I had a reflection in my life. I said, well, there are so much, I enjoy my career. I enjoy working. I enjoy the career achievement. But there are times that I really have to balance my life, because in the tourism industry or in the telecom industry, we were so competitive. We work every day from 9 till 9 in the evening, and then we work on weekends, and we don't have time for my family. I always devoted myself to my job. So I thought maybe it's about time for me to balance my life between family, my career, and my future. And that's the real meaning of my life. So I thought maybe I should not stay in the tourism industry anymore, because I have to work 365 days a year. So maybe I should have a change. So I, at that time, DBS Bank, which is one of the largest banks in Asia, they recruited me as the managing director for credit cards and unsecured loan. So I said, whoa, okay, it's an interesting opportunity because I've never worked in a bank and it's such a big bank. So I thought maybe I should do that. But unfortunately, as you will recall, about 12 years ago, there was a financial crisis. There was a financial tsunami. All the big banks like Citibank, HSBC, all the big banks start cutting their staff, cutting their payrolls. Because like the financial market just plummeted and all the economy was so bad. And at that time, I was thinking, okay, as long as I still got a job, I could still invest. But unfortunately, I lost a lot of money in the stock market. I bought HSBC share, I bought some Australian dollar, which fell 70%. And I said, wow, what can I do? And I was just wondering, like, what would happen to me? And unfortunately, there was one day, my boss, the CEO of the bank, called me and said, well, Lambert, I'm sorry, you are also one of the persons we are going to lay off because DBS is going to lay off 900 staff in Hong Kong, and I would be the one of them. And I said, wow, how can I face such a blow? Because it's you that invited me to join this bank, and I have helped you earn a lot of money. I have helped you to rebuild the brand in Hong Kong. I've done so much thing for you in the bank. Why are you laying me off? And I was quite challenged, and I was quite upset. But interestingly, because unfortunately I have my own faith, and I prayed to God and said, oh, what can I do? And somehow God gave me the kind of assurance and the comfort, and I stand up and said, maybe I should not focus on the whoops. I don't have to focus on the bad side of it. I should reinvest my energy into something more meaningful, because just like investing in the stock market, if you buy say 10 cents at $400 and it dropped to 300, you probably want to sell the 10 cents and reinvest into Alibaba or something, which would give you a proper or a better a return, rather than letting 10 cents to fall to 250. So I think as a human being, as a career, as a person living a life, you don't, of course, when you face the setback in life, you probably will have the same problem. You will let yourself, oh, how can I face this challenge? But don't let yourself drill into the dark hole in your life. You just have to stand up and give your best in the future to reinvest into something more meaningful. So what I did was I didn't go to find a job. I went to different parts of the world, to Canada, to Toronto, Vancouver, to Australia, in USA, to share my experience, to share my life, to bless people, to encourage people who are facing similar challenges in their life. So I spent 1.5 years as a gospel singer to different parts of the world and to encourage people. And I'm so glad that I stood back in my life, and I became a more energized person once and again. And in the year 2010, I met the chairman of TSL, Sherry Ling, and she invited me to be the CEO of TSL, because she wants to revitalize the brand, because her company was undergoing such a challenge in Hong Kong for the past years. So I said, okay, if I have already done something meaningful in my life as a gospel singer, maybe I should rejoin the marketplace and help out a company that can be revitalize the brand, which is also very meaningful. But at the same time, I don't want to give up my life as a singer. So I joined TSL, and I hope to, I have already revitalized the brand so that TSL expanded from only 150 shops to over 350 shops in China. So I think this is something that I had done to help this family, the TSL family, to get back on their foot. So I stayed there for 6 years. I thought maybe life has more meaning than just making money, because being a CEO, of course, you have the status, you have the money, you have earned the career. But I think after 30 years of working for some other people, I think it's about time for me to do something meaningful to my own life. So after 6 years in TSL, I quit my job. I started doing my career dream. As I mentioned earlier in my speech, I wanted to be a teacher. So I joined the Hong Kong University to be a professor. I taught marketing and branding. And I joined Metro Radio as a radio host. And I also published my own CD. So I was a full-time gospel singer for 3 years. After 3 years, as a slash, I was approached by UNICEF, and they said, well, you've already rested enough as a slash. Why can't you join us and do something even better and bigger, have a bigger impact to the children around the world? So started earlier last year, I joined UNICEF as the chief executive and to start my new career. But my career was so challenging, just like a roller coaster, ups and downs, ups and downs. I thought UNICEF was kind of an easy job to do. But unfortunately, soon after I joined the UNICEF, I was faced with two challenges. One, last year, Hong Kong was undergoing a very challenging year. We have social unrest and followed by a pandemic in Hong Kong, COVID-19. So starting earlier this year, everything was stopped. The restaurants closed, the shops closed. And the worst case is we've got a high termination of pledges, termination of donation, because people want to cut their donation in Hong Kong given the pandemic. So as a chief executive, what I can do is to rebuild the brand, help our colleagues not to give up, because although under such a stressful condition in Hong Kong, I still have to respond to the situation. So what we did is we distributed 1 million face masks to the children of Hong Kong, and we helped the low-income family to sanitize their toilets, because there are studies that the pandemic was actually spread by the toilets condition. And we also educate the people about the hygiene during this pandemic. And fortunately, after doing all these, we've got such a good response from the market. People know that we are doing and helping the Hong Kong people, and we are rebuilding our brand in Hong Kong. And also the donation comes back again with the support of different sectors in the market. So last slide I'd like to share with you is that in your life, there are so many things that you have to face. There are so many challenges in life. Maybe it's ups, maybe it's downs. but don't give up so easily, because you never know what's awaiting on the other side of the door. I think this is important because a lot of people, when we face challenges, we tend to give up very soon. But don't worry. As soon as you have faith, I'm sure you can go through, and there will be a brighter side after this. Okay, so that's basically my sharing, and I hope that would give you some thoughts for your life and some inspiration for you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lambert. Actually, 1 second, don't leave.
Okay.
We do have a wish. 1 second, me 1 second. So actually, so our audience and myself, we do have a wish, because you just said you want to be a singer, right?
Yes.
And we can make sure you're a talented singer. So could you please just sing a little bit? A little bit, please.
Well,